Whether it is the season of giving or you're just looking for a gift for that special someone, a special someone with a home studio, a special someone that likes to make music, somebody that uses lots of little gadgets and gizmos, I've got some great ideas so you're not left in the dark when it comes to which gadgets and gizmos they might like. Let's get right into it. First, I've got a really cool device here called the WIDI Master. It can basically turn any device that outputs MIDI into a Bluetooth MIDI device. I'm using the 5-pin adapter version here, and in my studio I connect this to a keyboard. I have an Astrolab that's always hooked up, and by utilizing Bluetooth MIDI, I can just pull up with my iPad and connect to it wirelessly. It takes literally no effort, so if at any point I want to jam on some of my apps or sample them, etc., I just find the Bluetooth signal in the app that I want to use, and we're connected to the keyboard. It's that easy. Saves a lot of headaches on the cable management side of things. In keeping with the wireless theme, I also want to recommend these III wireless headphones. I recommend these all the time. I use these a lot. You might have heard that you can't use Bluetooth headphones with music recording gear because there's too much latency. Well, these headphones actually utilize a different type of wireless technology where they utilize a receiver so that you can get ultra low latency, meaning that you can perform and record and make music in real time with wireless headphones. It's really like magic. There's nothing else like these on the market. Next, I think any musician or home studio music producer with a bunch of gear could definitely use something from this store, from Analog Cases, the sponsor for today's video. I'm holding here an XTS stand. This is a really great expandable gear stand that can fit a bunch of different types of gear. This is the small one here, but I also have the large version, which extends even longer for bigger pieces of gear. But other than just fitting one piece of gear, if you look here, I've got a bunch of pedals and I'd like to put them all up on a single stand. Well, you can also get the trays for the XTS stands so you can fit multiple smaller pieces of gear on a single stand. Also a nice way to hide all those ugly wires underneath. These stands really help me from having to crane my neck over a piece of gear, and I can get a proper posture if I can remember to sit up straight. They've also got the Track Pack, which is an amazing backpack for anybody who travels with gear or does a lot of gigging. I recently brought this one and a bunch of gear on a trip to Las Vegas, and it made traveling with a bunch of gear really easy. I've also used their Unison Performance case, their X Pro Performance Surface, and of course the cases. All the Analog Cases products are of great quality and have served me really well in my home studio and I guess out of the home studio. So no shortage of gift ideas there at the Analog Cases site. Link is down below for the 10% off in addition to their 20% off sale. Thank you to Analog Cases for sponsoring this video. Okay, next, something for the sound lovers. How about a cool, interesting microphone? This is actually a hydrophone. It's a microphone that can be used in water. This can be really fun to sample with. Here it is if I put it into a glass with some seltzer water, a little ASMR moment for you. Interesting microphones like a hydrophone or even a contact microphone can be really fun for somebody who's looking to explore sampling and recording weird sounds. But speaking of recording, a portable audio recorder makes a great gift for somebody who's interested in sampling the world around them, or even just recording their live sessions with their gear. Recently, I picked up this Sony A10 because it's so small and so pocketable. It's really easy to carry around and do field recording with. I also use a Tascam Portacapture X6, which is a lot chunkier but also has like proper mic inputs, 32-bit float recording, and has an interface that's kind of like a phone. It's got a touch screen. I mostly use the big one in my studio, and I use this small one when I'm on the go or just need to do a quick recording. And this one is pretty fun. This is by Dig Dug DIY, which is an Etsy shop that I can definitely recommend. There's lots of cool gadgets and gizmos. This one in particular will give you a visualization of waveforms as you hear different sounds. It's really just a sound visualizer that I think looks cool. It's got audio input and output, so you can route a musical device into it, so you can visualize the sound of your synth, say, but you can also run sound out of it, so it just passes through the device while capturing the sound. All right, next, a couple of books for the readers out there. Earlier this year, I read a few books, but a couple that I think apply to creatives and music producers. This one is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. It's a philosophy book, Stoic philosophy in particular, and though it doesn't relate directly to musicians, I think this is almost like a Bible for creatives. It can really help you get your mind straight, and it can help your outlook in life as somebody who's trying to have a creative life. I found this book really helpful for just my mindset. Another book, this one is almost like a classic now. It's not really a book you can read cover to cover. It's like a book you might read in a day, or you might just read a couple pages every single day. Steal Like an Artist. This is really great for inspiration, or if you're feeling a creative block of some sorts. The author outlines lots of different ways that other artists influence other artists. It's almost got like a meta thing going on with this book because there's a bunch of other creative work in this book used to demonstrate the point of the book. Steal Like an Artist. And there's also a few other books in this series as well. I think this is really great for any creative, not just musicians. And maybe this next one seems a little lame, but maybe it's a stocking stuffer, but this is just a blank pocket notebook. I use these all the time. I filled up a few of them throughout this year. You can buy them in like a multi-pack and they're super cheap. But if I'm learning a new piece of gear, or if I'm studying some kind of music, I can just use one of these pocket notebooks and work out my ideas, or even draw a few quick sketches. And I'm actually really excited to show something else related to that. I actually designed my own notebook, a workbook of sorts called Song Studies. This workbook is meant to be sort of like a journal for studying your favorite songs. You study the structure, the instrumentation, the chords, different sound design features of your favorite songs, and you write them all down in this book. The goal is that you fill up the pages of this workbook, and anytime you're feeling uninspired or you want to take inspiration from your influences, back to the Steal Like an Artist recommendation, you can pick your notebook up off the shelf, pick any page of any song that you've analyzed in the past, and maybe grab the chord progression from it, or grab some of the instrumentation inspiration, copy the structure, different things like that. So essentially you're building a little bit of an encyclopedia of what makes your favorite songs great. There's a lot of notebooks out there for musicians. A lot of them have like your traditional 5-line staff, or maybe they have guitar tab notebooks, things like that. But I found that there weren't a lot of notebooks out there for just analyzing more contemporary music. As somebody who doesn't really use notation at all, I wanted an easy way and an easy system to take notes on some of my favorite songs. So I designed this notebook. It's called Song Studies, and let me know what you think. All right, this is where the fun begins. Studio Decor. I've got 2 recommendations for you. I've got this floating planter, which is really cool in sci-fi. It always draws attention to anybody who visits my home studio, and people see it in the background of videos and they think it's cool all the time. But essentially this uses magnets to float a small planter above the base. Now, you could put a plant in it. I've obviously got a little Yoda figurine because I like to imagine he's using the Force and floating and watching over my studio, but it looks really cool. It's just there floating, spinning. And I've got this cool pixel art display by Divoom. This is the 64 version. It's like a framed art piece in your studio that you can change. The app has a bunch of free pixel art that you can choose from and display wirelessly right from your phone. You can change it. You can also draw your own pictures, upload your own stuff. It's really cool. It's like a futuristic version of artwork to have in your studio. And finally, 2 bonus items that are not musically related at all. I get comments on my watches all the time. TAETRO, what watch is that? What watch is that? And this is something that can be dangerous because I think you can get a little addicted to picking up watches like these, but I've got a bunch of these Casio watches that are not expensive at all. You can get them for like under 20 bucks, a lot of them, and they have so many different designs. And I don't know what it is about people who like music tech and these watches, but it definitely seems from my comment sections on YouTube and Instagram that people really dig these watches. So I don't know, maybe find a cool design for a watch. My friends who like to go fishing, I just got them a couple watches that have like fish radar on them. I don't even understand. There's a ton of these watches out there. I'll link a few of the ones that I have down below, but you'll be going down a rabbit hole. I warned you. And lastly, I've got a cool little camera here. This is called the Osmo Pocket. Doesn't even look like a camera. It's actually like a gimbal camera, so it's super stable. It is something that fits in your pocket. I've shot a lot of videos with the Osmo Pocket that if you're a fan of the channel, you've probably already seen footage from it. If the musician you're buying a gift for wants to step up their video game, or they want to start, recording their live sessions or performances, this camera is the perfect entry-level way to do that other than using your phone. If they want a dedicated camera device, they don't want to use their phone, this is the perfect camera for it, because instead of buying like a big camera like the one I have here and learning the ins and outs of filming with one of those big cameras, this is super user-friendly. It's stabilized, easy to like set up above you and get that top-down shot. Really cool little camera, would highly recommend. I use it almost every day, and it's like a little robot sci-fi companion. So that is my gift guide for the music producer, the gadget lover in your life. If you found something on this list that you're picking up as a gift, I would love to hear what that item is in the comments down below. Don't forget to check out the big discount you can get from Analog Cases. They've got a 20% off sale going on right now. And I've also got a 10% off link in the description that you can stack on top of that. Thank you again to Analog Cases for sponsoring this video. Shout out to my channel members for your ongoing support. It really means a lot. That's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.